to provide you important insights and findings of my dissertation topic, investigating barriers to essay writing engagement among the secondary school students of Sri Lanka, precisely grade 10 and 11, focusing the Colombo 10 area. So the outline of the presentation is the introduction, we have the problem statement, the scope, rationale, research questions, research objectives, then the theories, methodology, limitation, analysis, and finally the conclusion. So let me provide an introduction to my topic in terms of its background. So essay writing is considered a core component in the language education system of Sri Lanka. This is because essay writing skill is considered to be a key skill in terms of developing analytical things, logical reasoning, creativity, and also more specifically clear communication, which is an important fact in a globalized context like today, where English is considered to be a lingua franca. And having said that, a gap continues to be evident between what is being taught to students and what actually needs to develop their writing skill. So due to this gap, there is a growing disengagement in essay writing skills among the secondary grade students of the national curriculum. So exam-oriented systems prioritizing memorization over skill development is also aggravating, since due to the speed or due to the haste in covering the syllabus, students are not given the ample time required to develop their creative skills and also take their own space to develop their writing skills. So then having said that, the national curriculum also attempts to enhance writing skills through textbooks aiming to assist students excel their GCE ordinary level examination according to Summit and Syllabus 2021. Nevertheless, the MOE has notified low pass rates in the GCE ordinary level examination for English, which is with over 52 students failing in 2014, the highest failing rate among all subjects due to significant weakness in students in terms of their composition writing skill, according to Hashmi Abesena 2019. So this is also affirmed through a study conducted by Aruna Nandaraja et al. 2019, saying that majority of the students do not even attempt the essay writing questions in the GCE ordinary level examination. So given these facts under consideration, the barriers given the prominent focus in this study are linguistic proficiency, lacking teaching methodologies, and individual feedback mechanisms. So the problem statement, let me move on to the problem statement. So despite of 18 plus years of learning English as a second language by the grade 10 and 11 students of the national curriculum, still students lack interest in essay writing. So this disengagement is considered to be a substantial educational challenge. This is because essay writing plays a crucial role in academic and career success. We very well know that even higher education institutions and even job recruitment personnel, they demand for personnel with high or good command of English language in writing aspects. So students, having a great importance for essay writing, students are not confident enough to write even simple sentences, so they often leave complete questions like short answers, chart descriptions, essay writing completely blank, according to Karunakaran and Regan 2024, because as far as I remember, the GCE O-level examination paper contains question number 8, 14 and 16, basically targeting composition writing, so they leave them completely blank. So at this stage, so this is a crucial problem, and as to why this particular problem should be addressed in this particular stage is that these students are of 15 and 16 age range. So this is a critical period for their analytical skill development. So if this question is not unaddressed by this problem, this would hinder future prospects for learners. So that is the importance of addressing this issue. And then The scope of the study targets to analyze the grade 10 11 students of the secondary school students who are following the national curriculum in Sri Lanka, and the key attention is given to challenges such as insufficient linguistic proficiency, ineffective teaching methodologies, and lack of personalized feedback mechanisms, and on the exam-oriented education framework that limits creative and analytical skills. So the study is only designated to the Colombo 10 area, so it does not focus on the issues faced by the rural students in regards to this. So the rationale is that, moving on to the rationale, so according to Nibisi and Superstar et al. 2023, it says students who are competent in essay writing can achieve better results in the standardized exam. As for now, we know that the exam-oriented system is hindering creative skill, but still, in a Sri Lankan education system where the exam-oriented framework is existing, to pass well in the exam, it is required. So, the skill of better essay writing can contribute to get through examinations with better pass marks. And it is, according to a study by Karnakaran and Viva 2024, it is stated that the pass rate of 73.5 in English is recorded in the year 2022, which is a significant value. But still, a 26.5%, which is 84,005 students, are still failing the English examination due to poor essay writing skills, since they don't have the confidence to write essays. So these failures highlight existing effort to support writing skills have focused on only general linguistic proficiencies, but have not fully tackled specific barriers. So my research questions pertaining to my topic are: what are the key barriers to essay writing engagement among secondary school students in Sri Lanka? Next, how linguistic proficiency impact the essay writing engagement, and what teaching methodologies could possibly enhance engagement in essay writing, and do personalized feedback practices influence the students' engagement with essay writing? So the main, moving on to research objectives, the main objective is to identify the barriers to essay writing engagement among secondary school students of Sri Lanka, and the specific barriers pertaining to VITA, to find out how linguistic proficiency impact the essay writing engagement, and then to find out what type of teaching methodologies could possibly enhance engagement in essay writing, and finally to assess how personalized feedback practice influence the student engagement with essay writing. So the theories what I have used to back my study are the Vygotsky's zone of proximal development. This is focusing the linguistic aspect, and then the constructivist learning theory of Jean Piaget, focusing the methodology of the methodology aspect, and the self-determination theory of Daisy and Ryan, focusing the personalized feedback aspect to motivate students to engage in essay writing. So let me provide you the existing research done with regard to this topic. So a study identifying errors in English based on the 11 students of the Uva province of Sri Lanka by Nihal 2013 has found out that students basically make linguistic errors due to inter and intralingual errors. That is due to overgeneralization and the L1 interference. So the gap of this study is that the study does not address on the importance of the learner autonomy, and also it does not focus on barriers such as innovative teaching methodologies and individual feedback. And another comparative study on effective strategies for improving essay writing skills among secondary school certificate and ordinary level students by Hussein Khatak 2021 says that it highlights the importance of establishing a student-centered approach in teaching essay writing skills to learners over the teacher-centered grammar translation approach, which heavily relies on lecture method. So there are existing researchers on the teacher-centered approach, but not specific to the grade 10 and 11 students who are facing the ordinary level exam. So that is the gap over there. And then a process-based approach through the work module by Hashmi Abe Sena 2019 to improve basic composition writing skill of secondary school of the Mahara education zone of the Lanka district of Sri Lanka has focused or highlighted tailoring, has highlighted the importance of tailored teaching approach. That is through visual, oral, and what you call reading and kinesthetic approaches. So this particular study only focuses on the methodological aspect, but do not focus on feedback, how could feedback influence writing skills. And another study of effectiveness of writing feedback in writing tasks among upper secondary school of Malaysia by Kendaran and Shah 2019 suggests that the importance of providing detailed, written and personalized feedback to learners on the essay writing task. So the gap here is it lacks emphasis on professional development designed to equip teachers with innovative methodologies. So for engaging students in meaningful essay writing activities. So the overall gap can be stated as there were no studies, recent studies that combine all three barriers like the linguistic proficiency, teaching methodologies and personalized feedback, which contribute to essay writing engagement among my geographical area, which is Colombo 10. So the methodology, so I have followed the research onion method, the design in my methodology. So according to Saunders et al. 2019, and philosophy I have chosen is pragmatism, and the research approach is both inductive and deductive, and the methodological choice is a mixed method since qualitative and quantitative data are being utilized. And the research strategies is experimental since I have included pre-test, post-test and questionnaire, plus case study is also being used since I have interviewed 6 students of my target population. And the time horizon is cross-sectional because the because the questionnaire is given only once, not over and over again. It's only one time. So the method and also the participants on the methodology to focus. The participants are 50 students from grade 10 and 11 focusing the Colombo 10 area schools, and data collection is done through pre-test, post-test where grammar and essay writing skills were tested, and then a questionnaire was conducted with the same students after the following the pre and post-test, and then an interview also was conducted for 6 students focusing on what are the further barriers they had and how did the intervention go on to share their experiences. So the data analysis was done through the SPSS software for the pair t-test and the correlation analysis, and the case study analysis was used for the interviews. Right. So moving on to the data analysis and interpretation. So the data analysis initiated with the reliability statistics to check the reliability of the questionnaire, whether it is reliable or not. So for this purpose, the Cronbach's alpha value was utilized. The value turned to be 0.967, which is a significant value showing there's a strong there's a strong internal consistency among the items of the scale, meaning the questions which I have included in my questionnaire. It suggests that, and also it suggests that the items used in the questionnaire are highly reliable and is measuring the underlying construct, which is engagement to essay writing tasks. So all questions are connected to measure the underlying construct, and the questionnaire has also yielded this value suggests that the questionnaire has yielded consistently similar results across items and even participants. So the reliability is further tested with the ANOVA test. So the ANOVA test findings has revealed certain important facts. So usually the ANOVA test findings F value and the P value, the F value should be higher and the P value should be lower. So if it is so, I think it is assumed that even one barrier significantly affects agreement, the engagement of essay writing. So here the F value is 23, more than 1. So it's a greater value, and also the P value, the significant value, is 0.000, which is below 0.05. So this suggests the variable between participants is statistically significant. And also the grand mean value is an important fact to consider here. It has turned to be around 2.34. Which gives an idea that how participant has scored across the Likert scale. So this grand mean of 2.34 says most participants have used 2 and 3 Likert scales in their responses. So which is a favorable thing to my dissertation, since they have chosen between disagree and neutral answers. So which is a favorable response. So all in all, the scale is highly reliable and has a strong consistency across items. And then the data was subjected to a normality test to see whether the data is normally distributed among the participants. For this purpose, the Kolmogorov-Smirnov and the Shapiro-Wilk test findings are being used. So in this particular normality test findings, usually the significance value should be greater than 0.05 if a normal distribution of data is done with regards to each variable. So to be precise, starting with the Kolmogorov values for the variables, it suggests that linguistic proficiency has gained 0.055, teaching methodologies 0.057, personalized feedback is 0.065, and the engagement of writing essay for that variable it is 0.076. So all of them are above 0.05, which suggests that there is a normal distribution of data among the variables. And also the Shapiro test also suggests the same. The values are higher than 0.05, which indicates there is a normal distribution of data, and the p-value both tests are giving us equal results above the 0.05 value, which suggests that the data is normally distributed. This can be also illustrated through a QQ test plot. So usually in the QQ test plots, if the points are falling close to the diagonal line, we consider the data is normally distributed. So starting from the linguistic proficiency variable, it shows the points are closely fallen the diagonal. So without being scattered away or being deviated. So the linguistic proficiency variable shows a normal data distribution. Then to the teaching methodologies as well, you see as it is shown here, the points or the values are not deviating from the diagonal line. It is approximately following the diagonal line. So therefore that is also a normal distribution. And then the personalized feedback variable has a rather dispersion of some value compared to the other two variables. So, but still it follows approximately the diagonal line. So that also shows the normality of data. Finally, the engagement variable, it also has a rather dispersion of some values from the diagonal line, but still follows a normal distribution or an approximately normal distribution of data. So a paired t-test is next done to compare the pre-test scores and the post-test scores to see whether the intervention has significantly improved, has brought expected outcomes. So the average score for the pre-test through this paired t-test was revealed that it is 39.24, while the post-test reveals a 54.190 value. So it shows a significant improvement in the average scores from the pre to post-test, and therefore the intervention is considered to be a favorable one here. And the standard deviation for the pre-test shows a value of 10.985. It shows a moderate spread of scores, while for the post-test, the standard deviation value is 14.617, which shows a wider spread of scores. So this also says that pre-post test has a significant improvements, and even the P value is here 0.000, which is below 0.5. So it reveals that the pre-test and the post-test scores are statistically significant. And also another thing to highlight here is the mean difference of the two tests are 14.95, which means the post-test marks have increased by approximately 15 marks after the intervention. And the 95% confidence interval of the difference were 10.622 and between the range of 10.622 and 19.277, which means even though the average is 15, a student in the post-test would have minimum increased by 10 marks or maximum by 9 marks, which is a good implication of the intervention done. So next, a correlation analysis was done to identify whether a positive relationship exists between the independent and dependent variable and how strong is the relationship in the questionnaires, through the questionnaires conducted. So usually the Pearson correlation coefficient for these two for the variables should be equivalent to 7 or more than 7. So here the Pearson correlation coefficient for linguistic proficiency is 0.696, which is a positive and strong relationship, and the significance value is lesser than 0.05, so it indicates a statistically significant relationship between the two variables. And moving on to the next variable, which is personalized feedback. Here also the Pearson correlation coefficient is 0.817. It is higher compared to the linguistic proficiency variable. So it shows a stronger relationship to the engagement factor compared to the linguistic proficiency. So also the significant value here is also 0.000, which shows the relationship is statistically significant here. And the final independent variable is the teaching methodologies. Here the Pearson correlation coefficient is 0.824. Out of all three, this has the strongest relationship for the disengagement, and the significant value here is also lesser than 0.05. So compared to the link, so what can be concluded here is that compared to linguistic proficiency and personalized feedback variables, teaching methodologies have a strong relationship with the engagement factor to essay writing. So so anyways, all in all three factors for barriers are considered in this study shows a positive correlation between the dependent variable, which is engagement to essay writing. So finally, moving on to the case study approach. So the case study was done with 6 students, as I mentioned, from the sample study. And as to why I have used the case study approach is that this is investigating the experience, or I'm looking at the experience of the students regarding to the intervention that done. So since it is due to that that particular context that I am focusing, the case study approach is being used, and due to a small sample population, which is 6 here. So a thematic analysis also was employed to identify recurring patterns and themes in the transcripts. So the coding framework included categories such as linguistic challenges, teaching strategies, feedback mechanisms, engagement factors, and personal habits due to the recurring responses that the students provided. So through those responses, we can come to a conclusion that grammar and vocabulary are significant barriers to essay, because I remember almost all students said that they have grammar and vocabulary difficulties in formulating an essay. And also collaborating strategies like group work could enhance students' engagement and confidence. Because one of the students, I remember, she said, I felt that I was not alone when I wrote the essay. So there are others to assist me. So that is an important point there to be considered. And mind mapping was identified as the most effective teaching strategy for students that helps students to organize their thought, because there are other strategies that I have followed using sample essays and then teaching them grammar structure. Most of the students responded that mind mapping was the preferred technique for them. And personal feedback is also appreciated by students, either from peers or teachers, to highlight their strengths and weaknesses specifically. And the learner autonomy should be also prioritized under engagement factor, because I remember when I asked the student that if you were given a topic of your choice to write an essay, do you think that you will perform better and write better? Then the student's answer was yes, because I know the topic very well and I somehow, because it's interesting to me, I will somehow try to write an essay. So this is all the point that has to be considered. And the learner autonomy should be prioritized under the engagement factor, and also personal habits like reading book, watching movies, and meaningful movies help develop your vocabulary and sentence patterns to essay writing. So conclusion is that the findings of this particular study can be categorized into three parts, that is pre-test, post-test result. So the pre-test, post-test results shows a 15 mark increment in the post-test, which shows the intervention was a positive one, and then the correlation analysis values shows that there is a strong relationship between each variable and the disengagement factor. And also the case study findings also provided valuable insights about the personalized feedback, the methodologies, and the language proficiency factors. So the summary of this could be concluded as the current study was developed and conducted understanding the considerable disengagement of essay writing or the lower test scores for the essay writing in the GCE O-level examination. And the study was statistically constructed to achieve the main objectives of finding out the barriers or the factors influence the essay writing engagement of the secondary students only focus in the grade 10 area. The intervention led to finding out possible factors that would impact the disengagement and the students' performance, and the correlation and the case study have also proven that teaching methodologies, personalized feedback, together with the linguistic proficiency could act as factors that impact essay writing engagement. So my final suggestions of my research is that I would recommend if we could increase the generalizability of this valuable study, because due to the time constraint I have only limited the sample size to 50 and the geographical limit to Colombo 10 area only. Also the high dependency on teachers could be minimized by enhancing collaborative work at school and learning, and innovative teaching approaches should be incorporated to play and purposeful activities. Here I just want to highlight one factor. In the interview questions, when I asked the students like what are your suggestions that you have to make essay writing engaging to you, their suggestions were if essay writing was taught to us in a very playful manner, like through puzzles, role plays, and even if we could practice essay writing through bloggings, because most of the students are into social media, that could be an important fact. And incorporating more grammar sessions in routine teaching could address the gaps in grammar knowledge. Also, this grammar should be, if we can incorporate technology here, that would be an interesting factor for students. And then incorporating group activities is another concern, and then teachers should prioritize individual and constructive feedback providing approaches. They are also, due to the high difference in teacher-student ratio in the Sri Lankan context, it's very much time consuming and it is a challenging task, but then again, if we can incorporate technology here to provide personalized feedbacks, that would be a greater aspect in regards to this. So these are the references. And
Zahara, I think it was a great attempt. So we have had long conversations about your research, and you have done quite a lot of improvement.